TBT roads take us home to West Virginia, where the quarterfinals of this year's basketball tournament are just about to begin. Two matchups in store tonight from inside Charleston Coliseum. The first featuring alumni teams of two very recognizable college basketball programs. Shell Shock, a Maryland alumni team, takes on West Virginia, the host seed, and a West Virginia alumni team with the right to move on to the semifinal. Both of these teams, all of the quarterfinalists, have already won 3 games, but they have 3 more wins to go in order to claim that elusive $1 million winner-take-all prize that makes this tournament so fun to watch. It is great to have been on this ride with you all the way to the quarterfinal. Now things get really interesting. Alongside Robbie Hummel, I'm Chris Fosters. We have Jen Hale with us as well. And Shell Shock and West Virginia, I should say West Virginia, one of the great matchups that encapsulate why TBT is so fun to watch.
Well, you get 2 great fan bases, 2 great college programs in the Maryland Terrapins and West Virginia Mountaineers, and then you get to see them with their alumni bases played. 2 programs that are very familiar actually played in the 2023 NCAA tournament. So now you tee it up here, you're going to tip this thing off, and you're playing for $1 million. Another game closer if you can win to get to the grand prize.
Every team has its own unique path to get to this point in TBT, but if you look at the stat comparison between Shell Shock and West Virginia, you'd think they almost have played the same teams or something like that. Very similar the way these teams have performed in TBT so far.
Well, also, Chris, 2 teams that are incredibly battle-tested, have had 3 tough games to get to this point, but they've found ways to win. Shell Shock, Ronald March is a terrific story. A guy that played 1 year of Division I, found his way into NAIA basketball, worked at Nordstrom Rack, and has played his way into some of the best leagues overseas. And for West Virginia, James Reese, 3 consecutive 20-point games. A lot of talent on both teams. Should be a great game here on the other side.
I wonder if Ronald March could give me a discount at Nordstrom Rack. Could use an update to my wardrobe. He's not shopping at Nordstrom Rack anymore, that's for sure. And he's playing with Shell Shock with a chance to win $1 million. Tip-off and starting lineup between West Virginia and Shell Shock comes up next. TBT, the basketball tournament, is powered by Puma and by Or Health. Or Health, a daily pill to drink less or quit. And Purple. Purple, less pain, better sleep. Moments away from tip-off between Shell Shock and West Virginia in the TBT quarterfinals. And for a little bit more on tonight's matchup, let's check in with Jen Hale.
First time West Virginia has been in the quarterfinals since 2022, guys, and they are making their presence known. J.D. Weatherspoon certainly contributing to that effort. J.D., you didn't play in the first game because of matchup purposes, but the second and third game, you were all over it. You're shooting the 2nd highest field goal percentage in TBT. What's working so well for you?
I'm just giving God the grace. You know, I know me being a professional, going on my 10th year of playing professional, you know, when your name is called, you just got to be ready. I know I didn't play the first game, and, you know, going back to my last interview, you know, I could have been pouting. I could have been just, you know, not being a good teammate. But I kept going. I kept, you know, showing my teammates, like, I'm here for y'all, you know. And I told the coach, whenever you need me, I'm ready.
Your squad and the Maryland alums are very similar on paper. Besides this home crowd, what type of advantage can y'all find tonight?
We're just going to play as hard as we can. You know, we have a lot of younger guys who just got that grit to their name, and we're just so hungry right now.
Love it. Thanks for the time, JD. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Guys.
Okay, Jen, thank you very much. That's J.D. Weatherspoon, a former adversary of Robbie Hummel in the Big Ten back in the day. Our starting lineups for Shell Shock: Anthony Tark, Daryl Morcell, Ronald March, Eric Ayala, and Diamond Stone. Diamond Stone, one of the biggest names in TBT this year with his pedigree and background. And for Best Virginia, Jared West, Ketty Johnson, James Reese V, Wesley Harris, and Trey Mitchell. Jared West had a great college basketball career at Marshall and then Louisville. His dad is the head coach of Best Virginia, and Mountaineers fans remember his dad, who was a 4-year player for West Virginia in the 90s. You know the colors if you follow college basketball. Best Virginia in the white, blue, and gold. Shell Shock in the red, black, and yellow. We are ready for tip-off in a matchup that is one of the many great reasons to watch TBT. You get these college alumni teams who compete in this, wearing their alma mater colors, playing for school pride and $1 million. And it's Shell Shock who wins the opening tip.
Big to see Eric Ayala start this ball game. Didn't play in the first 3, was dealing with an injury. He is healthy now and certainly a player that can help handle some of the pressure defense you'll see tonight.
Diamond Stone with a shot very far from the basket. Rebound to Best Virginia. And that three-pointer skims the rim from Jared West. Mitchell had the rebound for a moment, and here comes Ronald March the other way. Now Morcell on the wing. It's a Shell Shock team that is playing in its second TBT. They played in 2023, but not last year, and there's a turnover.
And the turnover is going to be something to watch for. Best Virginia, it's in their DNA. From the Bob Huggins years, the West Virginia era, they're going to look to turn these guards over.
James Reese rattles out a 3.
Wesley Harris could have just grabbed that. He was looking to tip that to Kedrian Johnson, and instead, Shell Shock's going the other way.
March denied at the rim by West. And a foul on Ronald March in the battle for the rebound. We talked to Shell Shock's coaching staff before the game, and they were literally having nightmares about the press from West Virginia.
Well, and that's why they were so excited about Eric Ayala being healthy enough. Just another guy that can handle the basketball, a guy that's played a couple years of pro basketball since we last saw him in College Park. Played last season in Puerto Rico and Mexico.
So here's West wearing the colors of his dad's alma mater. Now James Reese, who was a TBT hero 2 years ago with the North Texas alumni team. There's an alley-oop to Wesley Harris, and West Virginia is on the board.
Jared West, he's showcasing that quick first step right off the bat there. He blows by his defender, help comes over, helps a little bit uphill, and he's throwing it up for Wesley Harris to throw it down.
Tark had an opening in the lane, but he clanked it off the back rim.
You worry about with some of the pressure, just as it speeds you up in the half court.
Tark, a contested layup that doesn't drop either after the steal. Here's Trey Mitchell. Harris played 2 seasons for West Virginia, 2017 to 19, and he's got all 4 of the game's points.
You have to think for Wesley Harris, he was dismissed from the team along with Issa Ahmad his junior season. Just another opportunity to put on the colors, and boy, this pressure here, it's got Shell Shock looking uncomfortable, that's for sure.
But at least a foul there. That foul goes on Trey Mitchell of West Virginia. First team foul. You get 5 until the bonus, and bonus free throws in TBT are 2 automatically. Here's Ayala, who is doubtful coming into this matchup, but finds himself in the starting lineup.
Well, you come off a ball screen, you better be ready to handle 2 defenders, but there is opportunity on the weak side.
Ayala rattles out a 3.
But you'll take that look. You handled the trap, you skipped the basketball, Ayala gets an open shot. Now you just got to knock him down.
Kedrian Johnson throws it to the Shell Shock bench.
I think Kedrian Johnson just needs to let that thing fly. A little bit of overpassing there. Too unselfish from West Virginia.
There is Jared West, the head coach, played for the University of West Virginia from 1994 to 98.
Well, that could have been a travel right there.
March in and out from deep. And it's coming back to West Virginia.
Eric Ayala was very fortunate. That spin move, you turn your back on the help defense in that trapping and pressing situation. Very fortunate not to turn that ball over there.
West Virginia has played now all 4 of its TBT games on its home court here at the Charleston Coliseum, formerly the Charleston Civic Center. If they win tonight, they'll host a semifinal matchup as well. Mitchell for 3. Stone the rebound.
Trey Mitchell can step out and shoot the basketball from the perimeter. Multiple games of 2 or more threes made here in the TBT through the first 3.
Morcell slips in the paint.
And you can just see how sped up Shell Shock looks right there.
Nothing has fallen for Shell Shock. A slow start for the Maryland Alumni team, who did win a game in its TBT debut tournament 2 years ago. They beat a Florida Alumni team, but a much deeper roster, more well-rounded this year, that's gotten the Maryland Alumni team to the quarterfinal. Mitchell steps out again, but misses.
Well, that's going to be there for him. If Shell Shock is going to down those side ball screens, picking and popping is something that you can certainly do if you're a stretch big.
Some of these shots for Shell Shock, as Ayala misses there, are on target. They're just not falling.
But I felt like they've just looked like they're playing 100 miles an hour. It's almost like the ball's on fire for them offensively. It's definitely been on fire for this guy, James Reese, man. Not a West Virginia alum, kind of played a little bit of everywhere. A year at South Carolina, 2 years at North Texas. He has scored that thing at a high clip here in TBT.
20-plus points in all 3 tournament games for James Reese this year. Diamond Stone is fouled on a rim run.
Diamond Stone did exactly what he needs to do there. If it's going to be a heavy trap, he's got to get out quickly, hit him on the short roll. He's going to have to be a facilitator and a playmaker for himself and for others. Puts that thing on the floor, plenty of contact. He certainly wanted that foul called. There was the physicality that we became accustomed to in seeing West Virginia play under Bob Huggins.
The foul is on Wesley Harris. As Robbie mentioned, played 2 seasons for Bob Huggins, 2017 to 19 once again. Now West Virginia goes to its bench and brings in Toby Okani, who played for the Mountaineers this most recent season. And that's another cool dynamic here of TBT. You're starting to get some, not just recent college players, but recent as in last season.
Getting a crash course in what pro basketball is.
Yeah.
You know, I always felt like, and I did a lot of West Virginia games in those Press Virginia years where you had, you know, Javon Carter and Daxter Miles, and I thought when the rules changed, and it started with the cylinder rule, with trapping, with post trapping, with pressing, it really took away a lot of the advantages that West Virginia was trying to play with, and certainly hurt them for building their teams to be based off of the press and the trap.
Well, they're living in the past now. They force another Shell Shock turnover, and Kenny Johnson is blocked by the former Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, Daryl Morcell. And he's still got the defense.
Well, turnovers are going to be the name of the game for both West Virginia and Shell Shock. They're going to lead to runouts. Good effort here. You said it, Chris. The 21 Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, Daryl Morcell, going up in a race in that one.
Saturday, Major League Baseball is taking over the iconic Bristol Motor Speedway for a must-watch, one-of-a-kind event. Catch Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Braves as they take on Ellie De La Cruz and the Reds in the MLB Speedway Classic. Coverage begins Saturday at 6 Eastern on Fox. Welcome back to Charleston, West Virginia. There is the head coach of the Shell Shock alumni team, the Maryland alumni team, and Terps fans will recognize this guy very well. Juan Dixon, the national champion, most outstanding player of the NCAA tournament, had a 7-year NBA career as well. He is coaching Shell Shock, and what a presence to have on the sideline for the Maryland alumni team.
Just awesome to see him involved. We saw him at Coppin State coach at the Division I level, and you think about Juan Dixon and that run that Maryland had. He's one of the great players in the history of the ACC, and certainly at the University of Maryland. Right now, he's got to be searching for some answers against this press and just offensively. I mean, you look at Shell Shock, 0 for 8 from the field to start this game, and West Virginia has got to be kicking themselves, only up 6-2. It could easily be 12 or 14-2 right now.
Shell Shock has yet to hit a shot from the floor. Morcell able to change that, and he's going to the free throw line too.
Just a little bit of a dribble weave right there, and certainly whenever you face pressure, the dribble drive is one of the great pressure releases there is. You get the handoff, you get going downhill. J.D. Weatherspoon is trying to get vertical, but he's not going straight up and down. There's the contact, and Daryl Morcell now an opportunity for 3 at the line.
First personal on J.D. Weatherspoon off the bench for West Virginia. Shell Shock started 0 of 8 from the floor. Daryl Morcell changes that. Outstanding two-way player who scored 1,000 points in his Maryland career and then had a grad year at Marquette in the Big East to close out a 5-year NCAA run. Short on the free throw. Isaiah Sanders into the game as well for West Virginia, number 30. As Jared West utilizes his bench here late first quarter. Witherspoon to the rack.
Well, how about that possession? You know, just getting that ball moving from side to side. Then you get to the ball screen. You get that defense moving. They're not set. And then you find that pick and roll, and you hit Witherspoon on his way to the rim.
Witherspoon 2 years at Ohio State, 2 years at Toledo. There's Ronald March, who's been the leading scorer for Shell Shock.
He can get it going right there. That was pretty good defense from Akani, but just better offense. Ronald March scores the ball at a high clip. Last season in China, almost 19 a game.
Witherspoon again.
He's a tank, and right now they're looking for him. They're putting him in that two-man action. They're getting him on the roll. He's got that big body, and J.D. Weatherspoon light on his feet, nimble around that rim.
Weatherspoon steps off and helps the double team on Kayvon Foyles. Here's March inside this time using the wingspan.
Well, and that's what Shell Shock is going to have to take. If there's going to be that aggressive trap, you've got to get the ball moving. You've got to find the other side of the floor. And if you can get it over there, you've got opportunities for threes and dribble drives.
Reese sinks the jumper. He's got 4.
I think about just James Reese, certainly on that North Texas team that won a game in the NCAA tournament, but to see his improvement now as a pro, he's putting together an impressive TBT.
March beat him to the cup, but Reese denied him. Case in point, Robbie. Reese gets it done on the other end as well. What a sequence for James Reese, the 5th. March denied the answer. Isaiah Sanders flips it over to Reese. A rim run and a layup. Timeout, Shell Shock. They have been shocked by James Reese, the 5th, who has taken this first quarter by storm. Looking right at home in West Virginia colors. I mean, I was just saying it's interesting to see James Reese in this West Virginia system with their defense and their press, because at North Texas he played in a system there under Grant McCaslin that was known for its defensive pressure also.
No question about that. And Reese has been very open throughout this TBT about how much he loved watching West Virginia when he was in college. I mean, he made every play the last 5 times down the floor, whether it's the block shot, the run that he goes on, a 7-0 run by himself. He's already got 9 points, and James Reese has got it going again.
Nearly another shell shock turnover. This is Boyles for 3. He's short. Sanders the rebound. Largest lead so far for West Virginia. Final minute of the first quarter.
I'm really impressed. West Virginia, they've been together for what, a week and a half, and they look like they've been a team that's been working on this pressure for 6 months. That's not the case, but Shell Shock just not handling the press well at all.
Foul is on Shell Shock's Xavier Green, who played 1 season for the Terps, 2021-22. And it puts Sanders at the free throw line, who is not a West Virginia alum, but is from the state and had a great career at Division II Fairmont State in Fairmont, West Virginia, not that far from Morgantown.
Well, he really scored it. His last 3 years there, averaged 18 or more all 3 seasons. 2 of those seasons had 20 plus, but did it for his career averages. 51 from the field, 42 from 3. Incredibly efficient player.
Xavier Green open on the wing. A brick, and Sanders the rebound.
Boy, the tempo, I mean, that's an open shot, but because of the speed and pace you're having to play at, that thing hits the glass. This press is really, really effective right now.
Final 15 seconds of the quarter. Jared West on the ball. He won a state championship as a high school player in this arena. He pulls from 3, wide left. Boyles the rebound. Time for Shell Shock, a heave-ho, and it got awfully close. But the first quarter comes to an end. I don't know what's more impressive, the 10-point lead for West Virginia or the fact that they keep Shell Shock to single digits. The West Virginia press is no joke. Shell Shock looking a little shell-shocked after the first quarter. of West Virginia BOA with the West Virginia alumni team up 10. Looking ahead to the upcoming college basketball season, the university has a new head coach. His name is Ross Hodge, and he's standing by with Jen Hale.
Indeed, Chris, Ross Hodge, a very busy man. He's wrapping up training camp with his squad, but made the trip down here to Charleston to support the alumni team. Coach, first of all, put on your analyst hat. The pressure is the story for this West Virginia team. How are they accomplishing such great pressing?
Yeah, it starts with those three guards with Jared West and Kadarian Johnson and James Reese. They really pressure the ball and making it hard on the Maryland alumni team. And both teams kind of had a hard time scoring early, but lid came off the basket a little bit for West Virginia and finished the first quarter well.
You had about a 2-hour drive to get here. You're no stranger to TBT. You used to coach at Texas, and you went to some of the Texas alum teams. What was so important about bringing your squad down here to this today?
Yeah, I think it's important to get our guys down here, and be part of, show them part of the state of West Virginia that they hadn't been yet, and get down here in Charleston and, again, just see the support and, make them feel connected to something that's, bigger than just themselves.
Absolutely. And for your squad, you took this job in March. Give us a little sneak peek as you try to revamp the program, use the transfer portal. What can we expect from your Mountaineers this season?
Yeah, it's been a hard-working group. They worked really hard this summer. We got a few more days before the end of our summer workouts, and just again want to put a product out there that represents the hard-working people of the state of West Virginia and the university, and something that everybody can be proud of.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck this season, and cheer hard tonight.
Thank you.
Guys.
Okay, thank you, Jen, and thank you, Coach Hodge, who comes to Morgantown after 2 seasons as the head coach at North Texas, and he was an assistant under Grant Caslin for a handful of years before that. So he coached James Reese, who's become one of the standouts for West Virginia and indeed all TBT this year. It's a West Virginia program, Robbie, that is now going into its 4th head coach in as many seasons, just looking for some continuity and stability to get back to the history and tradition of this winning program.
And think about in the 2000s and into the early 2010s, where it's like, all right, you have John Beilein as your coach, and then you have Bob Huggins, who was an institution here. So certainly the turnover is not easy. You're still adjusting to life of what the new Big 12 is. But this program, the fan support that they get in Morgantown and the job they do of supporting their teams, well, you go into that place, good luck getting a win. They just need this. These teams just need to give the fans something to cheer about because they want it bad here.
The James Reese show continues for West Virginia. He's got 12 after opening the second quarter with a 3. We're here in Charleston, West Virginia, the state capital, about 2.5 hours southwest of Morgantown, but you'd never be able to tell. It feels like a home environment here for West Virginia. This is Reese, the man with the hot hand. He defers to Weatherspoon. Now back to Reese. 10 on the shot clock. Marcel trying to blanket the hot scorer, Reese. Reese dislodged by Marcel. Olcani had to get it away with 1 on the shot clock, and that is a shot clock violation.
Boy, Daryl Marcel just getting in a stance and taking on that challenge of trying to shut down James Reese. For that possession, he wins the battle. It's going to need to be efforts like that to slow him down.
Marcel, an excellent two-way player for the Terps, and is developing his TBT career as well. He played in Kosovo internationally last season. Here's March, and a foul on the floor on the baseline.
But look at what Andre Fox did right there, Chris. He looked up the floor. All this pressure is here in the backcourt. Look up the floor and try to attack this thing to score. That's the first time we've seen Shell Shock look to do that.
Follows on Jared West, his first. And March has got 6 points and is coming off a 21-point performance in Shell Shock's 3rd round win to win the James Madison Regional and get the Maryland alumni team to the TBT quarterfinal.
His career really is remarkable. We talked about it a little bit in the open, but 2024, he's the French import player of the year, has played in China, has played in some of the top leagues in Europe, and to come from where he was at the NAIA level and end up there, that is a remarkable journey.
Played only a half season of Division I college basketball and then went the JUCO and, as Robbie mentioned, NAIA route. There's no statistical record of his pro career until a couple of years after his college career ended, but you talk about a late bloomer.
But that's because he went to India and just kind of took a deal on a lower level team and just continued to work his way up. Shell Shock starting to settle in here. You know, we'll see if they can get some positive things going with their half-court offense.
Arch just picked up a foul on the other end, and that three rattles down for Andre Fox.
Well, you get a paint touch with the drive and you spray it to the corner. Andre Fox hasn't scored a ton for Shell Shock, but that's a TBL All-Star and a guy that has scored a lot in that league.
And played just 7 minutes in Shell Shock's last game, but Shell Shock looking for offense here. Down 9 in the second quarter. Harris off the mark from deep and Stone the rebound. Here's Eric Ayala backing down Jared West. Denied a paint touch, but he draws the foul.
You think about how your defense can help your press break too. If you can get stops, then West Virginia can't sit their press. There you see it. You flow into your offense. I love Eric Ayala using his size over Jared West Jr. right there.
That's another foul on West. And Eric Ayala is on the board for the first time tonight. 4-year player at Maryland from 2018 to 2022. It's almost a rarity now. You see a guy play 4 seasons with one college program.
It's kind of sad because where do you know, certainly there's exceptions to this rule, but if you play at 3 or 4 schools in 4 years, where do you call home? You know, that's going to be one of the, I guess, ramifications that we see from the transfer portal.
Mitchell, good backspin on that stroke.
Pick and pop, it's something that they look for. Diamond Stone is going to have to recover because Trey Mitchell has made threes in the TBT.
And he gets a steal here. Johnson, underhands West, transition 3. Arch the rebound.
We saw it plenty in Lexington and Louisville. Teams just don't look. When they have advantages, there it's a 4-on-2. Go get a layup.
Fox is fouled hard in the lane, and Shell Shock getting a bit of a spark off the bench here from Andre Fox.
They needed it offensively. They were in just such a fog to start this game. They've had some guys come in off the bench, Andre Fox being one of them, and certainly impact their offense.
So Fox, as you can see, did not play for the University of Maryland. Played at South Alabama, where he crossed paths with Nima Almidvar, who's one of the general managers, one of the roster builders for Shell Shock, who was also an assistant under Mark Turgeon at Maryland back in the day. Fox is from the state of Maryland, so there is his tie to Shell Shock. 9-point lead, West Virginia, middle stages of the second quarter. Winner moves on to the TBT semifinal and keeps its $1 million dream alive. Reese off the 10.
Stand. Yeah.
Reese picks up Ayala. Stone's got it to the baseline now. Tark back to Stone. And the former 5-star high school recruit misses the 3.
West Virginia did a good job of stunting to him right there. Diamond Stone, he felt other guys coming over.
Wesley Harris is fouled.
Well, Diamond Stone's going to have to be careful here. He is following the official. He's not happy with that call.
That's his first personal. And it puts Wesley Harris at the foul line. Harris played internationally in Poland and Romania last season. He was a 4-time state champ at high school in Mississippi. Finished his college career at Tennessee State after his time in Morgantown ended. Shell Shock trying to claw their way back in this thing. They are just 4 of 20 from the floor, and now 4 of 21 after that shot not close by Stone. Mitchell misses the reverse.
Boy, Wesley Harris tried to take a foul there, and they didn't give it to him.
And Stone capitalizes on the other end.
I still like Diamond Stone on the short roll. He didn't make it a couple possessions ago, but if they're going to play pick and roll, that's going to be there. He's going to be able to look for some of his teammates. If help converges, he can spray that for open threes.
Out to Sanders, who gets that 3 out and over Tark, and then it rattled out. Stone. Too strong.
I just don't know about that shot. Diamond Stone can get that whenever he wants it.
And Fox picks up the foul for Shell Shock, his first. Sort of treading water here. West Virginia hanging on to that 9-point lead. It's currently at 27-18 as we work our way towards halftime.
I know. Right. And if Trey rolls hard, you know what I'm saying? The Stone not gonna roll.
James still in?
Yeah. James Toby.
I'd like to get a layup right here.
Guys, too, you got to use it or lose it time out of your pocket.
Okay.
30. Yeah, 30.
Let's go. We'll go on.
Hey, you're gonna call me crazy. I'd go quickly with JD. Stone, you know what I'm saying? Stone's guarding him.
Set the back screen.
We back screen JD in. Have Toby make the catch. Yeah. Back screen Stone.
For Reese.
Yeah. Yep.
Zay in the corner.
Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Good call.
Stone ain't gonna fall on that.
All right. JD. Enter. Hit Toby. Reese set a good back screen on Stone. He's going to be lazy. If anything, get inside so he has to go over the top. Okay? If they switch it, baby food. Reese coming off. Toe. Set it. Stretch. Attack. Zay in the corner. Keedy in this corner. Okay? Yes. Hey, next play. All right. JD. Enter. Hit Toby. Reese set a good back screen on Stone. He's going to be lazy. If anything, get inside so he has to go over the top. Okay? If they switch it, baby food. Reese coming off. Toe. Set it. Stretch. Attack. Zay in the corner. Keedy in this corner. Okay? Yes. Hey.
That's in the huddle, powered by Puma. Our thanks to West Virginia head coach Jared West, a 20-year high school head coaching career at Notre Dame High. Won a state championship in 2017 in this building, coaching his son, Jared, who, I don't know, that must have hurt him on the inside to have his son go to arch rival Marshall down the road in Huntington, but it's all worked out in the end. Now Jared Jr. is playing for West Virginia. Dad is coaching again.
What also does help when, even if it's a rival school, says we will pay for your son's education.
Sure.
That will soften the blow.
That softens the blow. There's Isaiah Sanders, the D2 star in state. He's got 5.
It's been quiet, but we talked about his scoring prowess at the Division II level. He is certainly very capable of putting up a big number. Well, you just got to move it to the other side. Tark had March, but he just never gave it to him, never gave him a look.
Tough shot by Andre Fox.
Really nice flash there. Andre Fox making himself available and knocking down a tough fadeaway.
6 points for Fox. He had 5 points in round 2, 3 in round 1. Did not score in round 3, so his best offensive performance of TBT to date. Reese uses the glass, too much of it. Weatherspoon, what a play. Around to Johnson, who has all day to line that one up, but it changes its mind.
That's one of those plays where that deserved to go down. J.D. Weatherspoon, the effort there on the offensive boards, gets a wide open shot for his teammate.
In the lane, Marcel. Fox now with a lovely finger roll.
You just get that ball moving. You're driving closeouts and good things can happen. Andre Fox making an impact on this game off the bench.
90 seconds until halftime.
Honestly, Shell Shock has to feel good about where they are. That first quarter went about as bad as possible. To only be down 8, they're starting to guard too.
There's a steal. Fox with the left.
How about the way he got to the body there? I mean, James Reese is trying to time that up, and Andre Fox is just taking away his ability to leave the floor.
Andre Fox is going on a James Reese-like run here in the second quarter for Shell Shock. Reese slips it to Weatherspoon and back to Reese. Now Okani off the window.
Oh, what a move by Okani. I think if you're guarding him, you've got to be okay. He kind of gave that little hesitation like he might let it fly from 3. Only shot 28% from 3 last year at West Virginia. You'd much rather have him shooting a three-pointer off the bounce than getting to the rim.
Started all 32 games for the Mountaineers last season. Fox pulls up.
Last shot.
And he felt like there was a lot of contact from James Reese.
Hey, timeout, timeout.
Bill Covington is telling Andre Fox that he jumped into James Reese, hence the no call. Well, West Virginia calls a timeout. Jared West huddles up the troops. They lead by 8.
I'm not sure I agree with Bill there.
All right, Robbie, here's a look at TBT's past champions brought to you by AARP. Join AARP and get instant access to member benefits. What you'll notice here is that all of the previous champions, if they were in TBT this year, they have been eliminated as of the quarterfinal round. So we are going to get a new TBT king in 2025.
And honestly, Chris, it would not surprise me one bit if the champion came out of this region here for this quarterfinal, because the 2 teams playing right now, and certainly who we're going to see after this, very capable. 4 very capable teams with pro talent, sideline cancer, number line drive. There's plenty of pros out there. Would not shock me one bit to see the winner coming out of here.
Yeah, but how about that final last night in Wichita between...
That was insane.
We Are D3 and Fail Harder. One of the largest, in fact, the largest comeback in TBT history. Fail Harder came back from 29 down, but still lost in the Elam ending. Weatherspoon couldn't lay it in, and Ayala throws it off the top of the backboard, and it ricochets up against the big bracket that is rapidly filling its way in toward the semifinal. Well, Shell Shock shoots under 30% from the floor in the first half, but they only trail by 8. West Virginia leads 32-24, and we'll check in with Jen Hale, who's standing by with West Virginia head coach Jared West.
Indeed, Chris, thanks so much. Coach, a torrid start to that first quarter. All that pressure, Reese is scoring. What did you like best?
James got going early, made a few shots. Our defense has been, our DNA was carried us throughout the whole tournament. Hopefully we can come out in the second half, continue to play defense, play offense like we did in the first quarter, take better shots. Second quarter, we started standing a little bit, continue to move the ball, execute on offense, but hold our hats on the defensive end.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that second quarter, indeed, Maryland started to get their feet underneath them, so to speak. How do you adjust? How do you keep up that intensity for 2 more quarters?
Well, a lot of their success came off of our bad shots, so they played in transition, made a few shots. If we take good shots on the offensive end, we can set our defense up. Once we set our defense up, I'm fine with the results.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Coach. Firing off muskets here inside Charleston Coliseum. West Virginia leads 32-24. They are halfway to their first ever trip to the TBT semifinal. On their feet inside Charleston Coliseum for the West Virginia alumni team, West Virginia, which has gone on one of its best runs in TBT history. This is the 6th season West Virginia has been in TBT. They've never made it past the quarterfinal, taking on a shell-shock team that is in newfound territory as well, albeit in just their 2nd TBT. The bottom half of the semifinal bracket is set. We Are D3 holds on in one of the craziest Elam ending finishes In the history of this tournament, the Elam ending took 35 minutes, and after We Are D3 blew a 29-point lead to fall behind 93-92 to fail harder, they did in fact hold on to win and move on to the semifinal. Meanwhile, the Aftershocks knock off Heartfire to set up a great semifinal in Wichita on Thursday. Who will join them in the semifinal? One of those matchups underway right now between Shell Shock and West Virginia. Second half around the bend, will it be the Maryland or the West Virginia alumni team moving on? Eric Ayala, Shell Shock, and the Maryland alumni team still very much in this game, but down 8 to a West Virginia team that is channeling the past legacy of the West Virginia program and playing a suffocating style of press defense. It's been very entertaining, and it's certainly led to a lack of offense really on both ends of the floor. Robbie Hummel, Chris Foster's Jen Hale. I knew that Maryland's alumni team was a little intimidated by West Virginia's press defense, but You seem to be as well. You're having flashbacks of playing West Virginia yourself.
I got to experience the Bob Huggins physicality of defense with John Flowers and Deshaun Butler and that team that went to the Final Four in 2010. But it was just interesting to watch. West Virginia, the first quarter, so impressive on the defensive end, had it going offensively, but things kind of flip-flop. Give Shell Shock a lot of credit because they hung in there and were much better in the second quarter.
This game has been a defensive struggle, and you will see that reflected in the first half stats. Brought to you by Purple. Purple, less pain, better sleep. Some would say it's painful playing West Virginia's style of press defense, hence the 30% field goal percentage for Shell Shock, 2 of 12 from 3.
But Chris, give Andre Fox a lot of credit, a guy that had not been in double figures at all in this TBT, 10 first half points, and they absolutely needed every one of them.
32-24 the score in favor of West Virginia. The players are out of the locker room and warming up for the start of the second half, which we'll bring you right after this. James Reese leads all scorers with 12 on 5 of 10 from the floor. We get ready to start the third quarter. West Virginia by 8. And for an update on Shell Shock coming out of the halftime locker room, let's check in with Jen Hale.
Chris, Robbie, Juan Dixon feeling confident about this second half. He loves the way they played that second quarter. He feels like there's plenty of room for improvement and plenty of time to get there. The two adjustments he thinks are key. Going smaller has helped this Maryland squad, so look for that smaller lineup more this half, kind of what we saw in that second quarter, and then making the right reads. That's what he emphasized to his guys. And of course, you got to do it in real time. That's the catch, right, Robbie?
Well, it certainly is, and I think it's no coincidence that just getting a guy like Andre Fox, another handler on the floor, a guy that's capable of scoring, it really helped them in that second quarter.
Morcell can't sink the jumper in the lane. The half began with a personal foul on Jared West, who's got the ball now. That was his second. 9-minute quarters, these games move fast, and the Elam ending comes your way midway through the fourth quarter when we'll turn off the game clock and play to a target score.
Kedrian Johnson hasn't scored. He was a big scorer in junior college and actually had a great game in the NCAA tournament, a career high against Maryland. There you get a turnover, and now Shell-Shocked able to get out and run.
Stone with the steal, and now top of the key, that three wide right. He gets his own rebound and
Hunt three.
Tries it again. That's around and out. Morcell with a hustle play. Tark inside. Fouled.
Shell-Shock doing their work on the offensive glass, and it's just playing harder than West Virginia. We certainly would not have said that in the first quarter. Multiple opportunities. Stone doesn't knock him down, but third time's a charm. Tark able to get on the offensive glass, and he earned that trip to the foul line.
Fouls on Trey Mitchell, and yeah, West Virginia +6 in the rebound department at halftime. Shell-Shock starting to chip away at that with an offensive rebound or two here to start the second half. So this is Anthony Tark, who played for Juan Dixon at Coppin State. First team all-conference player, and he drains a couple of free throws.
But the way the game started, it felt like Shell-Shock turned the ball over a million times. And they did take some rushed, quick, and at times bad shots. But they only have 3 turnovers. West Virginia actually has 6. It's a stat that you just wouldn't think would be the case.
West drains the three.
Pretty action there. That roll and replays. You've got to take on the roll man, and you've got Jared West filling right behind him.
Offensive foul called. It's West Virginia ball. The foul was on Diamond Stone, his second.
I think that should have been an over and back. Wesley Harris was in the front court and then landed, before he landed, had caught that ball.
Oh my goodness gracious!
A steal for Shell-Shock. Morcell, the entry to Stone. Rebound, West. Into the corner for Reese. Around Morcell.
How about Trey Mitchell, though, just closing off that lane. They're playing 5-on-4. Diamond Stone was down. Really well done to find the open man, drive it. Trey Mitchell clearing the runway.
West Virginia has not trailed in this game. March short from the short corner. Now Mitchell. Johnson.
Let's go.
He's on the board now, Robbie.
Well, West Virginia is not settling for these jumpers. When they've got the advantage, they are looking to attack it off the bounce. They're getting some stops. They're playing with tempo. They've had some advantages there with numbers. And they are cashing in with their transition offense. Trey Mitchell running the floor. He sprays it. Now you're playing off that closeout. Kedrian Johnson had the big game against Elite Nation with 17 points. Finally gets on the board here in the third quarter.
Timeout taken by Shell-Shock, who scored the first bucket of the half, but West Virginia has regained its footing here and has once again opened up a double-digit lead. In fact, this equals their largest lead of the game at 13 points.
No question that West Virginia has thrown haymakers to start the game and to start the second half. Shell Shock has just come out twice now,
Reese's
not ready
man.
to play, and they've
Honestly,
really paid
Reese's
for
man is
that.
probably their best defensive player, Marcel.
West Virginia has become a TBT institution over the years. This is their 6th year in TBT. Going back to 2019, they did not compete, had to withdraw in the COVID year, 2020, of course. But not only has West Virginia become a TBT staple as a program, but Charleston has become one of the great host cities for TBT over the years. This is the third time that a regional has been here at the Charleston Coliseum.
Well, Chris, there's been a lot of success in the state of West Virginia. We've heard that, and West Virginia, two teams that have great programs at the college level and have been great programs at the TBT level as well.
Out of our Spain, out of our Spain.
Let's listen in to West Virginia's huddle.
Hey, see, don't forget about West. If this man is in help, he'll be in the dunker. Let's go. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3, family.
Jared West Sr. played on a Sweet 16 team at West Virginia in 1998. And this is a revenge game, remember, for some of these West Virginia alumni players who were on the 2023 team that lost to Maryland in the first round of the NCAA tournament this year. Kenny Johnson in particular went as far as to spell it out, saying this is a revenge game for me. And they're getting their revenge right now here in the third quarter. That's out of bounds. West Virginia ball.
I almost wonder if we're going to see Andre Fox in the game soon, just because of how well he played in that first half and how out of sorts Shell Shock looks right now.
Fox ripped off 10 points in the second quarter for Shell Shock. Credit West Virginia, they have kept Shell Shock off balance from the jump. Mitchell, turnaround jump hook.
That's a big time move right there by Trey Mitchell. Take your baseline, help defenses there, spin right back to that strong hand.
Mitchell played in the Bundesliga in Germany professionally last season.
Just signed with the Euro Cup team in France. Really good opportunity.
Ayala to the cup, +1.
You've got to be willing to drive that pressure. You handle the initial surge, you get it to Ayala, he drives that baseline. Just got to be tough if you're going to beat a West Virginia team, because they are bringing the physicality and they are trying to punk you with the traps.
It's the psychological component to it as much as just the physicality of it.
Well, it's a lot like, you know, playing a Kelvin Sampson Houston Cougars team. Can you handle the initial surge that is their trapping? Because if you can, you will have opportunities to play out of it.
Wesley Harris picked up his third foul for West Virginia, by the way. Ayala can't complete the three-point play. It's still a 13-point lead for West Virginia. Harris, an off-balance three.
And not a great shot. You can see Jared West Sr., he was not happy with that one.
March, that rattles out. Harris, the catching rebound.
Yeah, Ronald March is 2 for 8 from the field. Hasn't been able to get it going the way that we've seen him at times in TBT.
Reese with the crossover, and he's fouled and is going to the line.
That was a nasty crossover there. I'm just amazed. You know, James Reese was a nice player on that North Texas team, but he is a player out here. Clearly a foul. Green gets up underneath him there. Look at the crossover that just totally leaves Xavier Green in the dust.
You mentioned the success that James Reese in North Texas had in the NCAA tournament, and I just want you to know how nice of a person I am for not asking you to follow up on that.
Well, we've had other players that have beaten Purdue in the NCAA tournament play in TBT in Lexington and Louisville, so I'm shocked you didn't, honestly. I was fortunate enough to be calling the game for Westwood One Radio. You know, it was just great to watch his team just go in there and hand it to Purdue late.
There have been plenty of reasons to say boiler up as that alley-oop from Morcell finds March for the deuce.
Good things happen when Shell Shock has looked up the floor against the pressure. Kind of caught him sleeping there. Daryl Morcell with a great pass.
Mitchell in and out and off. Touched just about every area of the rim. Arch hooks a pass for Tark.
Boy, Tark did a nice job of coming to the ball there. If you don't meet that pass, that's a turnover.
Morcell draws
be a foul.
contact. Xavier Green now slings it across to Ayala, who drains the three.
Second chances have been the best offense for Shell Shock here in the second half. They've been able to get some offensive rebounds, some putbacks.
Morcell spent a lot of time on the deck there for Shell Shock. Shell Shock hits a tray out of it.
Wayne Euro stepped, and his defender was totally tangled up in his arms. I mean, there was so much contact there. Shell Shock just kind of has hung around that 10-point mark. It felt like it spiraled at times, but they haven't let it get out of hand. Remember with the Elam ending, just being around to be able to put game pressure on your opponent is such a big part of that thing.
Reese is blocked, but Tark throws it out of bounds, and it stays with West Virginia. Timeout on the floor, just under 4 minutes to play in the third. As Robbie mentioned, the lead is 10. Can Shell Shock make a run here in the third? TBT, the basketball tournament, is powered by Puma and AARP. Join AARP and get instant access to member benefits. The big bracket. Teams have advanced their names forward, but now there are not that many teams left in the pursuit of that $1 million prize. It's the second of our two quarterfinal locations. Wichita did not disappoint last night. We're in Charleston, West Virginia tonight. This is game 1 of 2 in the West Virginia quarterfinal. Winner of this game moves to the semifinal and keeps its $1 million dream alive. And as an added incentive for West Virginia, if they win, they host a semifinal, as that shot is way off by Ketty Johnson. March, the lay-in.
It just looks so easy out there for Ronald March. When he's looking to score, he creates space, he gets by people, and in transition, that was just too easy by West Virginia. Have to load up, have to stop the ball.
Lead cut to single digits once again. Toby Okani drops it off to Weatherspoon, and it's Shell Shock ball. foul called on West Virginia. On Toby Okani. That's his first. Four team fouls now on West Virginia, so that puts Shell Shock on the brink of the bonus with a decent amount of time left in the quarter. March in the lane, Tark blocked by Sanders on the way up. Free throws coming up for Anthony Tark, and Sanders disagrees.
Yeah, the crowd doesn't like it here, but it was a total breakdown of West Virginia's help defense. Now the question is, did he get all ball? I think he gets some arm in there too. I think Sanders certainly fouled him. This will show again. Plenty of contact.
Pleading his case with Bill Covington. Tark off the mark. Bill Covington, Danny Vasile, and Mike Nardone are our officials this evening.
Don't lock up.
All three of Tark's points have come at the foul line tonight. West finishes.
He took on that pressure by Ayala, but the late bump to just knock Ayala off balance there. Again, you're just getting to his body. You're taking away that ability to block a shot.
March off the mark. Weatherspoon with a big board.
He can really rebound.
Flashing the hands, but West doesn't get it to him. West instead puts in a tough shot.
There's no doubt that Jared West is looking to get to the rim right now. Looking to live in that paint.
Alley-oop, March throws it down from Marcel. That's the second time that's happened in the quarter. March has a dozen quietly. And there's a 30-second timeout on the floor. West Virginia by 9.
No problem. Breakdown there by West Virginia. They just don't know who they're guarding. The guy running the floor, and nobody picks him up. The lob is there.
Well, all of Shell Shock's games in TBT this year have been close. Their average margin of victory is 3.3 points. They have trailed going into the Elam ending already in TBT this year, including in the first round, a game that they ultimately won by 1 point against Love Virginia. So here's what we mean: a 1-point win in round 1, a 3-point win in round 2, a 6-point win in round 3. So they know how to win close games, but can they come from behind and make this a close game?
When you're also dealing with a pure road environment,
yeah,
right? Like, this is a very good crowd here in Charleston, and it is all West Virginia.
It really is. Juan Dixon encouraging the Maryland alumni team here. Former ACC Player of the Year, first team All-American. Scored 18 points in the national championship game against Indiana and dropped 33 in the Final Four against Kansas. Proteges on the floor trying to channel their inner Juan Dixon here. Okani for West Virginia misses. And here's Andre Fox, your man you were looking for, Robbie.
He really settled them in that second quarter. See if he can have a similar impact here. That was a lucky catch. That was a pass to nobody by Marcel, and ended up in the hands of Tark. I think that was actually intended for Diamond Stone, and it ends up in the hands of Anthony Tark.
Third personal on Jared West. And 2 free throws here for Anthony Tark, the 28-year-old who played in Mexico last season internationally. Hard to have a better season with a college team than Anthony Tark had at Coppin State. He was First team all conference, all defensive team, defensive player of the year, and conference player of the year all in the same season. I mean, he swept the awards.
Averaged 16 a game, and it's kind of been a little bit of everywhere in the G League. It's played for Wisconsin, Motor City, Santa Cruz, the Long Island Nets. He's kind of bounced around there.
Who's going to grab momentum here late in the third quarter? 7-point lead, West Virginia, the basketball as well. Mitchell with the shot fake and kick out. Sanders off the rim, stoned the rebound.
They got a good look there. I like Trey Mitchell picking and popping against that down. He drove it that time, but he got his teammate a great look.
Deflected out of bounds, it stays with Shell Shock. Tark rolls to the basket. He's cut off by Mitchell. Out to Kyle Cardacey for three.
They have handled the ball screen trap so much better after the first quarter. Those bigs are just slipping out, and they're looking to spray it for their shooters.
And a foul on Ronald March. Number 3 on March. That throws a little bit of water on the fire coming from the Shell Shock bench. That Cardacey 3 got them jumping up and down.
Give Shell Shock a lot of credit again. For as bad as this third quarter started, they are finishing it so well.
West steps in off the 10. Now Fox on the run. Cardacey. About 4 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock here. Now Cardacey's open for three. Too strong. Rebound Weatherspoon.
Reed, yep. Reed. Attack 7-6.
West back to Weatherspoon. Too strong. Mitchell tried to clean up the glass but could not. And the lead has been cut to 4. West Virginia still in the lead, but Shell Shock is surging. 47-43 after a great third quarter for Shell Shock that ends on a 7-0 run. This game is going to be close down the stretch. Critics call first things first an entertaining, unpredictable joy. Don't miss Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, and Kevin Wildes with a fresh, unscripted sports talk show weekdays at 3 Eastern on FS1. We get ready to start the fourth quarter after being serenaded with Sweet Caroline by the West Virginia fans here tonight. Jen, what'd you think of that?
Absolutely an A-plus performance, guys. You gotta love these alumni teams and their fan bases. And hey, you know, they're not playing at home, but this Maryland team, they're a close-knit group too, and they're playing for more than just money for themselves. Part of the proceeds, if they win, of course that West Virginia basket didn't help their efforts, will go to a memorial scholarship in the name of John Brown, the unofficial mayor of College Park. He owned a very popular bar in College Park, Maryland. This scholarship has two different avenues. One is to support first-generation college students. The other, Maryland athletics, because John Brown was such a huge supporter of that. Check out the patch on the left side of the jersey from Maryland.
Okay, Jen, thank you very much for that update. However, West Virginia has turned up the temperature to start the fourth quarter. After Shell Shock ends the third on a 15-4 run, West Virginia has scored a couple of buckets, and the crowd is roaring again inside the Charleston Coliseum.
It's been a familiar pattern. It's like almost in these breaks, Shell Shock forgets what the pressure is like that West Virginia has played, and then they settle in. But another tough start to a quarter here. West Virginia out of the gates quickly here in the fourth.
It has been a rock fight tonight. Morcell off glass.
Nice jump stop there by Darryl Morcell. Trey Mitchell goes down, but because Morcell is playing under control, he's able to gather and go up with it.
Ooh. Trey. Okay.
Morcell with just 4 points, but also 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Now another Shell Shock takeaway, and Tark puts it home.
How about that? Tark getting three-quarter. He gets a hand on it, forces a turnover, then goes 90 feet the other way, and with the spin move, finishes that one off with the right.
7 for Tark, all in the second half, and the lead right back to 4. Mitchell fields that pass. Gets it back from West. Good D by Tark, and another takeaway.
Well, credit Shell Shock again. After a subpar start, they have fought their way back, and they've cut it right back to 2.
Can't believe Stone was able to lay that in without setting his feet. Just now running back into your screen.
He lost his shoe in West Virginia. They finally found the open man, and they can't leave him open. They gotta rotate to James Reese. He's just played too well to leave him as the guy.
Reese eclipses the 20-point mark now for the 4th TBT game this year for West Virginia. All 4 of their games, he's hit 20 or more.
You gotta rotate, and you can just see the Diamond Stones trying to get back, but right there, you don't have a man. You have got to take on James Reese. He's been West Virginia's best offensive player for the entire tournament.
Trey, you stay stretched on the wing so that your big man can't help. So that means the paint should be wide open. All right. Ball.
We got a guard.
Ball screen D. He come out the ball screen. Just stay. Guard, get back in front. Tag from the weak side, then get back. Okay?
So off the ball, we got to load up. On the ball, we got to get into the ball.
Let's go. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3, family.
Hey, point of attack. We got
Go.
What an acquisition for West Virginia to sign James Reese for TBT this year. West Virginia led by 13 in the first half and again in the second half, but Shell Shock ended the third quarter on a 7-0 run, but James Reese continues to fill it up. 21 points on 3 of 6 from three-point range.
Interesting there to hear from Jared West. Hard to tell sometimes in those timeouts, but it sounded like maybe West Virginia could try to maybe turn the temperature down on some of these traps. They might just be at the level. You can see it. That wasn't necessarily a hard trap there. That's more traditional defense.
Morcell couldn't cross up Toby Okani, and then a foul up the floor on Shell Shock.
Honestly, a good foul. Take that one, you stop the fast break. West Virginia was going to have numbers.
So Marcel picks up his first personal.
I think it was the right play. We'll see if they keep doing it, but by Jared West Sr. to turn down some of the heat in the pick and roll, because Shell Shock had been doing a nice job of hitting those bigs, taking advantage of the pressure.
Johnson out to West. Mitchell loses the rebound, and March picks it up.
That one hit him in the forehead.
Marcel spin and lay in.
I love that Daryl Marcel, he's forcing the issue with his size. He's not waiting around. They got numbers, and neither is West Virginia.
Mitchell with a layup line run. He's got 7 in the lead, back to 5.
I've seen breakdowns on both sides in transition defense, but if your big is going to run the floor like that, guards have got to find him. Great job by West Virginia looking up the floor.
Now Tark with the dish off to Ayala for 3. Strong, and the rebound pulled in by Okani. Here's James Reese, only player in the tournament this year to hit 20 points in all 4 games. Now Ketty Johnson ignores the screen and rattles in a jumper.
I love the tempo he played at right there, but was under control and did a phenomenal job of creating space with that step back.
Marcel slips past West and lays it in and draws the foul.
That's got to be a play. Even though it's in the DNA of West Virginia to be aggressive, I think that's a play where James Reese has just got to be solid. Look at how high Jared West is there. You've got to come over, and you can't let Daryl Marcel slip to the rim. You're coming over with that double team, but you're not going for the steal.
4 fouls for Jared West. You get 6.
You got 1.
And Daryl Marcel had just 2 points coming into the 4th quarter. He's got 6 in this quarter alone, and a chance to add to that here at the free throw line, where he's 0 for 1 today, and now 1 for 2.
Reese, go to it. Open. Hands. Foul.
A foul is called on Shell Shock. It's on Kyle Cardesi, his first. He was guarding James Reese on the play.
Step. Oh, no, hey. Okay. Toby, here. Dive. Don't force. Come on, Petey.
Casey heating the ball up.
Johnson the dish off to Weatherspoon. It was denied by Marcel, who then denies Toby Okani, but a foul is called on Marcel. He's trying to be a good sport about it, with a big smile on his face.
Cardesi guarding the basketball, but Shell Shock off the ball, gets back cut twice.
Who you got?
Okani buries the free throw. One more for Okani, who also played at UIC and Duquesne before spending his 5th year of eligibility with the Mountaineers.
A big possession here with that Elam ending looming at that 4-minute mark. Shell Shock, it would be big to get a bucket here.
Marcel turns it over. Now,
Use your feet to pass. You're playing a dangerous game.
West Virginia could take this down to under 4 minutes and call a timeout, but what good would that have done when you can nail a 3 as Okani does?
What a time for a guy that shot 28% from 3 at West Virginia last season to step up to the plate and knock down one of the biggest shots of the game.
Ball is loose. James Reese on the move. three for James Reese.
That's got to be the worst case scenario for Shell Shock. You turn it over, you don't even get a shot at the rim. Now it's a run out. West Virginia going to try to steal points. Now you take a foul to set that target score with an opportunity to get one more for James Reese.
And he's a pretty even keel guy. You see the emotion on the baseline there. West Virginia has turned into a runaway train here going into the Elam ending. And we will get there. We will cross over into the Elam ending, but Reese should take his free throw before we officially get there, but the referees will count.
Elam. Let's let him shoot the ball, and that's it. One shot. That's all right, we're good. One shot. One shot. Three. Where's three? Let's go. He's good. He's good.
I don't know what the objection could be for West Virginia, but
I think they were hoping that the point would come on the other side.
So after this foul, they're going to start the Elam after
72.
They're going to get the ball.
"24 points for James Reese, 7 straight for West Virginia. The target score is 73 with a bid in the semifinal at stake.
Underwood, a bucket, wins it for D3 now. Underwood, a bucket, wins it for D3 now. He carries it up, it's blocked, follows, they did it! D3 stares at death, and they survive.
Arguably the craziest finish in TBT history, but suffice it to say, anything can happen when we cross over to the Elam ending. First stoppage under 4 minutes in the fourth quarter. The game clock stops, the target score is set. The target score is equal to the leading team score plus 8. In this game, it is 73. And the first to the target score wins the game. Win or go home. Win and keep your $1 million dream alive, and that's a good start for Shell Shock and Andre Fox.
Yeah, good things have happened when Andre Fox has had the ball in his hands here tonight. Shell Shock gonna have to pick themselves up after a disastrous final minute. He just drives that seam, grinds it out. An opportunity for a three-point play.
The foul is on Ketty Johnson, his second. So a quick 3 points for Shell Shock. to start the Elam ending, and Fox now has 13.
I have to think that for West Virginia, it's going to be a heavy dose of James Reese. He's their only player in double figures, which is crazy.
Neither team has shot the ball well from three, so now's not the time to rely on that, right?
I just think the Reese has had it going. I'd be shocked to not see him get a look here, or multiple looks in this Elam.
Weatherspoon with a tough shot.
It's not a great possession, but you salvage it with the offensive board, and the ball finds the man it needs to. Got a good look.
O'Connie with the great offensive rebound for West Virginia, but Shellshock trying to start a run here in the Elam ending. Tark off the back iron, rebound tip to March. Tark didn't have the angle right. Shellshock is just 4 of 22 from three-point range in this game. West Virginia not much better at 7 of 26. Reese for 2. Rebound March.
They created the space. He knocked Morcell back. Got a good look.
Morcell on a cut to the basket. He stepped out of bounds.
That's the right idea. You got Morcell on the back cut. He had beat O'Connie. O'Connie's length kept him in that play.
Okay.
Third time down the floor for West Virginia in the Elam ending, looking to shave off the distance to the target score for the first time. Weatherspoon spins on Tark and draws the foul.
They clearly like that matchup with Tark. They've gone to Weatherspoon here, giving him the ball in the post and said, go make us a play. He spins on you and he initiates a ton of that contact. If I'm Tark, I'm asking, well, what do you really want me to do?
Weatherspoon has got plenty of TBT experience. He played for a Mid-American Unity team, which happily recruited him because of his career at Toledo. He also played for a Xavier alumni team in 2023, but he missed both free throws.
Oh, honestly, if he gets the ball again, I know you don't want to just send guys to the line, but if he's going to get an easy one, fouling him is the play. That free throw, it looks dicey.
Morcell in and out for 3. Here's O'Connie on a run, and he botched the layup. Tark, the flush.
Finally, somebody takes an advantage fast break. That's a good decision there. Ronald March not messing around with the 3. You need points. Put some pressure on West Virginia.
West Virginia has yet to score in the Elam ending.
Set it. Roll hard. Set it home.
All the momentum that West Virginia took into the Elam ending. West gets the crowd involved again.
That's pretty there. Putting air underneath that little pull-up. Beat his man Cardacci and finds his spot and raises up.
This has been West's best offensive game of TBT so far. He almost had a steal there. Excellent defensive guard. Morcell. Cardacci coughs it up right into the hands of James Reese. Johnson lays it home.
Love the unselfishness right there by Reese to give that thing up and get a layup for his teammate Kedrian Johnson.
Suddenly, West Virginia is 4 points away from the semifinal.
They run Cardacci off the line. That's what you got to do. That's knowing the scouting report. 2 on the basketball, give it up to Kedrian Johnson and let him finish the play.
Big stop right here. No threes from March.
Right.
No threes. Let's trail everything.
Yeah.
Solid.
I like Tart trying to go at JD. Hey, let's stay post or ball screen. Get involved, okay? Listen, keep the ball in front, keep playing defense, let's play in transition, okay? Let's go. Stay at home on shooters. Family on three. 1, 2, 3, family. And we got 2 timeouts. Any trouble? We got 2 timeouts.
So great getting to listen in to the coaches' huddles.
JD!
West Virginia head coach Jared West mic'd up there, and West Virginia has come unglued now that after a slow start to the Elam ending.
The defense has created their offense. They've been able to get runouts, and that's kind of salvaged what had been a nasty Elam ending offensively.
Keep everything in front. Keep everything. I'm sorry. Drag hand, Toby.
Morcell. Rebound up for grabs and hauled in by Okani. He's been big down the stretch.
Especially fighting off Diamond Stone down there. Really big time rebound.
JD, get into it.
He almost traveled.
Reese did it. Reese did it. Let it go. Let it go.
Cardacci almost picked Reese's pocket, but it stays with West Virginia.
JD, get involved.
They're going to review this, I think, to see if that
It's their ball.
hit off
Their ball.
Cardacci's hand or if it was off the leg of James Reese.
JD involved quick. You know what I'm saying? Go with Bill. Go with Bill. I know. That's it. Come set it. Come set it quick. Get involved quick.
And with West Virginia 4 points away from the target score, that opens up the same review situations that would be possible in college basketball if there were less than 2 minutes to go in the game.
Well, I think from seeing this the first time that hits off the leg of Reese. I guess the question will be, is it conclusive that it does? Cardacci clearly knocks it free.
Red ball. Red.
It's a quick review, and it is shell shock ball.
Yeah, the officials deem that it is off the leg of Reese, and Cardacci makes a great defensive play.
Another player who played for Juan Dixon at Coppin State won the MEAC regular season championship in 2021.
Drag hand, Keely. Drag hand.
Shell shock needs 14 to win. West Virginia needs 4 to win. No shot, a foul on the floor. It's against West Virginia, but that outcome is not satisfactory to shell shock.
White 0.
Patrick Fox is not going to be denied that left hand here. Henry Johnson is there, and I think they got him for the slap. It was before he was going into his shooting motion. Slaps down, and it's the same as the college rules. So you got to be taking that ball up towards the rim.
Third foul on Johnson of West Virginia. Fox throws it at the feet of Diamond Stone. Okani. And one!
That's been the story of the Elam ending. West Virginia hasn't scored in the half court. They've scored off their defense. A poor pass at the feet of Diamond Stone, and that just starts the break once again. Keeping his head to the rim, using his size. And the defense has been the story.
The steal and the score for Toby Okani, who cannot complete the three-point play. The foul was on Morcell, his third. But West Virginia can win it with a bucket, and shell shock turns it over. Reese. Okani for Weatherspoon. He is blocked and fouled by Diamond Stone.
Turnovers have just killed shell shock here in the Elam ending. They're playing with numbers there, 5 on 4, and honestly a good foul. After watching J.D. Weatherspoon shoot his last foul shots, Diamond Stone is in a good amount of pain down there with his shoulder.
44 is a shooter.
Hopefully Diamond Stone can stay in this game.
This game is over.
When J.D. Weatherspoon takes the free throw line, he can win the game if he makes 2 free throws. But Weatherspoon is 0 for 2 at the free throw line tonight, and his first 2 free throw attempts were not particularly close.
Shot 51% from the foul line in Mexico last season.
Come on, JD.
Certainly putting him on the line is always the play if he's around the rim and going to get an easy bucket.
Hey, back up a step, Katie. Back up a step. Keep defending. Keep defending.
Weatherspoon has been a winner at just about every stop in his basketball career. Played for some outstanding Ohio State teams. Won a MAC regular season championship at Toledo. Now on a deep run in TBT with West Virginia, but he cannot win the game anymore at the free throw line. One for 4 at the stripe, and West Virginia needs 1 to win. No follow through on that free throw.
It is interesting mechanically.
Cardesi in the corner. A rainbow 3 that airballs, but Daryl Morcell is able to clean it up.
Honestly, when Shell Shock has set their defense, they've gotten stops in this Elam. It's been the turnovers that have led to runouts that have just killed them.
There's Weatherspoon with the finish. Some poetic justice. Keep me home, West Virginia. The deepest run in TBT for the West Virginia alumni team ensures that they stay in the Mountain State. West Virginia to the semifinal, and they're staying inside the Charleston Coliseum.
Enjoy seeing you play in Old Dominion.
West Virginia never trails in this game, and here's how it ends. An Elam-ending winner for J.D. Weatherspoon, who couldn't get the game ended at the free throw line, but he does via alley-oop. Come on over to FS2 for the next TBT quarterfinal.